Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vince. If you're not familiar with this channel, I basically talk about everything related to cars, whether it's my personal cars or my friends' cars. But as you can tell with the title of the video, this is related to modifying your Supra, or if you're in the market for a Supra. So I'll basically break down this video to make it as easy to digest as possible, because there's plenty videos out here on YouTube where guys are just talking in front of a camera, but I want to take this chance to actually put the numbers up on the screen so you can actually visualize it, because like myself, I'm a visual learner and it's easier to quantify these amounts if you actually have it on the screen. So I'll break this down into different portions based on the power level that you're looking at. So we'll start off with like 400, 500 wheel horsepower, to 600 to 700, then 800 over. So of course, as with modifying any car, the more power that you put in, it's going to be more expensive. So just a quick reminder for you guys what I have done to this car. It's about in the 600 to 700 horsepower range. That's to the wheels. I have a pure 800 turbo on it, MagnaFlow exhaust, Catless downpipe, port injection with the reflex flex fuel kit from Visconti, and a forged charge pipe. So you can kind of see how much I spent on this thing. Hopefully my parents never see this, but let's go ahead and begin. All right, so we'll start off at the 400 wheel horsepower range. So by default, these cars are already pretty close to that power level. So simple, just getting EcuTech. Basically, this entire video is just going to be assuming you're going to go EcuTech. There's JB4 and BM3, but I've just had great success with EcuTech, so that's what I'm going to go off of. So the EcuTech plus 2, 91, 93, that's going to run you about $1,200. It's going to vary depending on the tuner that you go with. Just as a reminder, if you haven't seen my other videos, highly recommend it. But I am tuned by Mikey Body. Very awesome dude, very knowledgeable in what he does, so highly recommend him. And for these next couple of options, you have Catless or catted downpipe options. So the Catless option will run you a little bit cheaper, but this will get you to the wheel horsepower goal. So we'll go off Catless first. So an EcuTech plus E50 tune, that's going to run you about $1,700. Then you add the Catless downpipe on top of that, which is $500. So in total, you're looking about $2,200, give and take a couple $100 here and there. Next, of course, you have catted. If you decide to go that way, just with EPA cracking down on everything as of the making of this video, that might be a more viable option long term. But catted option is going to be the same, EcuTech plus tune, $1,700, and the catted options are a little bit more expensive, but that's going to run you about $800. There's a lot of different brands that you can go with, but that's just kind of a baseline number so you have an idea of what you're looking at. So now you really want to spice things up. So from this point forward, I'm going to go with Catless, because a lot of the options that you'll see on the market, whether you're going to go top mount or just stay stock location, they typically go Catless. So that might be your more budget friendly option. But this is when the costs start adding up, as with modifying any cars. So at that point, EcuTech plus tune is going to run you about $2,000. Catless downpipe is $500. This is going to go with a pure 800, so I'll go over the top mount costs after this section. But the pure 800, assuming you don't send a core in, is $2,500. If you send the core in, then they'll knock off about $800 to $1,000. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll just add like a caption towards the bottom. Then you add port injection, because to really, maximize the setup, you'll need to add port injection for sure. You also have high pressure fuel pumps and low pressure fuel pumps, but I don't have that. So you don't really need it for this power level if that's what you're gunning for. But the port injection through Visconti, including injectors, is going to run you $1,500. If you decide to get flex fuel, I highly recommend doing the reflex kit also through Visconti. It's going to run you $1,500 just because it's plug and play. Makes things so much easier. Even if you don't get tuned by Visconti, it's just going to make your tuner happier because that's the easiest route. There are other options, but I'm not going to cover it on this video. Then you add the charge pipe to that, and that's going to be $300. So about in total, with no flex fuel, it's going to be $6,800. Total with flex fuel is $8,300. And so that's what I have on this car, and it's been great, super reliable. On my previous videos, I covered the 38,000 mile ownership, so recommend that. Leave a link up here in one of the corners so you can view that whenever you get a chance. So now we'll go over the top mount costs. It's going to be more up front, but it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So if you decide to swap out the turbo in the future, you have that option. So again, the chart's up here. EcuTech plus tune, around $2,000. The downpipe already comes with a kit, so you don't have to worry about that. This is assuming you're getting the G30 900 through P2 tuned. Sorry if I butchered that, but that's going to be $6,500. The turbo size, just for your information, for the G30 900 is about the same as the Pure 800. They're both 62 millimeter turbos. So you can also swap out the G30 with a 6266 if you choose so. Then of course you add the port injection, which is $1,500. Flex fuel, the reflex kit, $1,500, and then you add the charge pipe to it, which is $300. So the charge pipe, I forgot to mention, you'll need to have that whenever you add port injection, just because essentially the port injection, to add it is a spacer, and you won't be able to use the stock charge pipe because it's all in one piece. So to space that out, aftermarket charge pipes, they're in two pieces with a rubber coupler in between them, so there, at least there's some space there. So you'll need to do that whenever you're adding port injection. So in total, top mount, 600 to 700 wheel horsepower range, no flex fuel, $10,300. Total with flex fuel is about $11,800, of course, give and take a couple $100. All right, now you really want to go for the big leagues. That's 800 horsepower, wheel horsepower plus. So basically at this power level, you're going to be hanging around the big dogs. Your car will basically, I mean, assuming you have the supporting mods like axles, you'll be going for the low 9 seconds, high 8-second range. That's going to be one of the fastest cars, fastest Supras out there as of this moment. But the cost that you're looking for right now in this power range would be $2,500 for the EcuTech plus tune. Turbo kit, assuming you're going to go for the 6466 with ETS, that's going to be $7,145. You can add a couple $100 to this, assuming you're going to go for the 6870. I kind of recommend that at this point because there's more wiggle room, and I was doing some reading based on Body's experience, is that recommends going a bigger turbo, the 6870, just because a lot of the stock B58s, they fail whenever the turbo is being pushed too hard and there's too much heat being generated. So if you want to kind of play it safe, definitely go with the 6870, but the 6466 is still a very viable option. Not saying that you can't use it. I'm just saying if you really, really want to push the car, that's what you should go with. So yeah, port injection, $1,500. Flex fuel with the reflex kit, $1,500. Charge pipe's going to be a $300 cost. Then, of course, at this power level, so your trans isn't screaming for help, it's not absolutely needed, but it's very highly recommended just so your car can actually handle the power, because from 6, 7, 8, it's going to slip a lot. I mean, it already slips past 500 wheel. At this power level, you're really going to be pushing it. but through Pure, which is what a lot of the big power guys use all around the world. That's the one that has best result. So that's going to run you about $5,000 for the Stage 1. And then you'll need to add the low pressure fuel pump system through Visconti. That's going to be $1,295. So in total, that's going to be $17,740 without flex fuel and $19,240 with flex fuel. But there you guys have it, short and sweet. These cars are very, very awesome and very comfortable, even in the 800 plus wheel horsepower range. So don't be scared to go in there if you really have money, since these cars are really meant to be driven. There's plenty of other guys out there that make more power than me, that run faster times than me, that put a lot of miles on their car. So hope to see you guys again soon.